Hello, welcome to today's class. I'm so excited to have you join me today. This lesson is called the big event. And in today's class, you're going to learn about something called event. By event, I do not mean a party, field trip, an excursion, or an occasion. So, are you curious to know what an event is? Listen carefully as we begin with the lesson proper. This lesson is called the big event. It's all about how we can control our programs and actually change the way the program runs using events. To make a game, we need to learn about something that game programmers use every day. They are called events. Event tells your program to listen or wait for when something happens, and when it does, it performs an action. So, what is an event? An event in computer science can be defined as an action that causes something to happen. So, I'm going to give you a few examples of events that give signals so you can be able to distinguish between events and actions. In a classroom, when the teacher asks a question and the students raises their hand. Now, can you tell me how the teacher knows to call on a particular child to answer the question? Yes, you're right. It is because the child raised his or her hand, right? So, raising your hand or when students raise their hand is an event because it made the teacher to know that they want to be called upon. An alarm clock going off is an example of an event because it is an action that will cause something to happen. You're going to wake up from sleep. Clicking the mouse is also an event because it will cause a web page to open or any other activities on your computer. Tapping the screen of your device is also an example of an event. Pressing start on your microwave is also an example of an event. Pressing the power button on your TV remote is also an example of an event. Now, listen carefully as my friend Katie gives an overview of events.
Hey everyone! One of the most exciting things about computer science is that a computer program can be interactive. Anytime someone clicks, taps, or types on a computer or phone, that generates an event. And there's some code that decides what to do when an event occurs. For example, you could have an event handler that says, when the mouse is clicked, play a sound. Let's try an activity to see how it works. Have you ever heard of the game Flappy Bird? By using event handlers, you can learn how to program your very own custom version of Flappy Bird. The code you'll write involves dragging and dropping blocks that represent commands for the computer. Drag and drop programming is the easiest way to learn. It's even how university students start learning to code. But under the hood, each of these blocks is represented by real code. If you take a look at the workspace, there are some green blocks that are filled in for you. These are event handlers. If you want the bird to flap when you click the mouse, you can do that by attaching the flap block to the appropriate event handler. And now in your game, whenever you click the mouse, the bird will flap.
So, did you see how we can make use of events in our program? Take note, an event handler is a software routine that processes actions such as keystrokes and mouse movements. So now you know all about events. Now, do you know why we use events in our program? The importance of using events is It adds flexibility to our program. It makes our program more interesting, and it also makes our program more interactive. So this brings us to the end of today's class. In our next class, you're going to explore using events in the puzzle. So see you in my next class. Bye.